What's up everyone, Jay here, back with Solo YUGIOH. Today we have my all-time favorite deck ever, Gladiator Beast for the Edison format, which is roughly when I was playing it as a child. Be 27 next year. I was playing this as a 12-year-old, so yeah, it's been a few years. Played it off and on since then, tried the modern version, but this will always remain my favorite with Bestiary and Gyzarus as the centerpieces. So without further ado, let's get into it. Well, actually, let's announce the monthly giveaway. And if you want to qualify for that, I think this month we're going to give out we're going to give 3 copies of any of the last 4 to 5 structure decks released. So that's what we're going to do this month. All you have to do to qualify for that is like the video, subscribe, and answer the question of the day, which is going to be, what's your favorite archetype amongst the tri-beasts? That means wing beast, beast, or beast warrior. It could even be one that includes all 3, like tri-brigades. But what's your favorite tri-beast archetype of all time, or any of them? It might be Gladiator beasts, any of them that fall within that category. So without further ado, let's get into it. Check out the channel membership Patreon down below. That helps with those giveaways, and gives you guys some extra perks, like putting your name in the description and adding your Discord and getting you additional giveaways. So for the Gladiator beasts, just lay them all out here and talk about them. We got 1 Bestiary. It's limited. Trust me, I wish we could play more. 1 Retiari. You want to side the second one. Not only for matchups where it's more advantageous to banish stuff from the graveyard, but also against heroes, because that's absolute 0 for your super polys. And then Murmillo, the 1-of, that's fine. And then 2 Laquari, 2 Equest, 2 Darius. Excuse me, that's pretty standard at this point in time. Yeah, I mean, sometimes you draw one, or you have it on the field and you need to get another. It's too bulky if you're going to try and put 3 of these in your deck. The only time I'd ever recommend playing 3 quests is if you're trying to mess around with 3 Icarus attack, which I think we're going to test out here soon. We might have to do it, or we might even test out 3 Icarus attack without changing the ratios first, and then see if we need to add an extra quest. Because if it can provide value in that regard, then by all means. Because Equest is great at summon, bait out, bottomless trap hole. It's 600 attack, chain Icarus attack, tributed away. Now you've added their bottomless plus 2 more cards. So that's too easy. That's why I love Icarus attack in this deck. That and the fact that it helps Bestiary escape bottomless, which, if you know, is devastating to the deck if Bestiary gets hit by a bottomless trap hole. So we can't have that happen. And then 3 Hoplimus. This is the spice. This is what people are on right now with this deck. It's what I'm on. I think it's really good. I think for a deck that plays this kind of pace setting 1 passing is just really good, especially when they see this little guy. We got Gores and Morphing Jar. They sometimes won't know if you're setting Morphing Jar or Hoplimus. What I love to do, since we play 3 Proving Ground, is I'll go ahead and search Hoplimus and set my Morphing Jar, and then set all my spells and traps as if I have a Starlight Road or Solemn, which, who knows, maybe I do, maybe I don't. But regardless, I'm going to get so much value off Morphing Jar the following turn, whether they heavy storm me or not. And then they're going to play conservatively, as everybody does in Go and Edison, and we're just going to plus the hell out of them. And as if you know Gladiator Beast, once the ball gets rolling, it gets rolling. So that's why Morphing Jar is so strong in this deck. And Gores is just that oh crap button. If they out your whole back row, I mean, you have some kind of defense. It's a 1-of investment, and it's not too heavy, and we don't really care about the monster slots too much, just because everything's basically searchable. We play what we want to see, we play what we need as far as like tagging out goes, and then the other spots are kind of flex spots. But Gores and Morphing Jar, that's my choices as of late. So I think this is pretty solid for the monsters. And then the rest of the deck is just spells and traps. Small little lineup, but we do have the 3 Proving Ground, which isn't always standard. Oftentimes people will play 1 or none in some cases, but I've seen 1's pretty standard, just as like a initial Bestiary or something. But I like 3 Proving Ground. I think that's the move. I think Hoplimus is super strong against cards like Sirocco, Cyber Dragon, Wolf, you name it. Opposing Laquari. Card's so good. 3 Book of Moon. Book of Moon's a god card in this deck because it helps Bestiary avoid bottomless trap hole. It helps you attack over stuff to get your ball rolling. It defends. And yeah, it's just so versatile. Protects against Mirror Force, protects against Deep Prison in this format. Book of Moon, somebody said it in the comments the other day, is like the best neg 1 of all time. And I like that take. I think that's accurate. Book of Moon is just such an underrated card throughout the history of Yu-Gi-Oh! Even though it does get its props from certain players, but lot of players just choose not to play it. 2 Smashing Ground. Removal in this deck cannot be... it's needed, okay? Yeah, I mean, Smashing Ground as a 2 of... It is one of the first cards I may side out, but in general, it's rather good, so we like it. Shrink, it's kind of like the 4th Book of Moon. Not quite as good, but it does serve a lot of the same purposes. It can shrink your bestiary to avoid bottomless. It can be used to attack and attack. It cannot be used to, you know, avoid bottomless, or sorry, deprison or mirror force, however. So for that, we play 1 of. It's a good card in this deck, I think, but I used to play 3. I just don't think that's... I don't like it like I used to. I like Icarus Attack more, I like Smashing Ground more, so we've changed it up. And without further ado, we have Traps, which is probably the last 20-something cards of the deck. It's kind of ridiculous how many traps we have. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 cards. We have 18 traps in this deck. It's a back row deck for sure. It's a control deck. It's a deck that has to get the ball rolling. It gets a lot of hate, but it's actually a lot better than people give it credit for. Mirror Force Solemn Trench Tribute. It is the reigning, not reigning, but it's the 2008 World Champion. maybe reigning if this was 2009, but in Edison, it would have been Black Wings as the reigning World Champion at this point in time for 2009. So Mirror Force Solemn Trench Tribute, Trap Dust Shoot, Call to Hana. These cards are all limited to 1. Otherwise, we'd gladly play more, but these are some of the best traps in the format. Trench Tribute, which is often considered the best. For the multiples, we're playing 2 Icarus Attack. Like I said, I'm considering 3. I just kind of really like Icarus Attack. I think it's a really good card. I think any deck that can play it should play it. That's like Value Turbo, Black Wings, of course. I play 3, no questions asked. And then Gladiator Beast. E3 said if you're not playing Icarus Attack, you're not playing Gladiator Beast right. And I agree with that. It's a very good card. 2 Starlight Road. Most decks I'll often play 1. But in a deck that has a total of 18 traps, I guess 16 not including itself, and 3 Book of Moon and a Shrink that can all be set. I mean, that's 16, so you got 20 cards that can be potentially set. Half your deck. So Starlight Road is so good. We need to have protection. We play the Solemn Judgment as well. So essentially a 3rd Solemn Judgment, 2nd and 3rd Solemn Judgment, just for a Heavy Storm, right? 2 Bottomless Trap Hole, semi-limited, or we played more. 3 Deprison, such a good card. And the In archetype, say no to all effects. We got Gladiator Beast War Chariot, such a great card for the deck. You can recur it off of a quest, which gets kind of nutty in a simplified game state. Like, you attack, you War Chariot their Raikou, and then they just can't do much else, because we're not attacking with this. You're going to bring this out afterwards, add back War Chariot, reset it. And if you have War Chariot plus Icarus Attack with the quest, that's just GG's, because you got your Wing Beast plus you keep doing this. I mean, the deck is really good at just controlling things. It's a really fun deck. Alright guys, let's move on to the extra deck. The first thing I'll mention is that I do not have my Absolute Zeros with me right now from last profile. If you want to at least get 2 or 3, I would say at least 2 because they're kind of expensive. I mean, considering that lowest rarity is like over $10, right? For me, I consider that expensive for bulk cards, like commons and whatnot. So that means there's obviously high demand, and Konami, Hero Cries, we need a reprint. But yeah, play 2 to 3 Absolute Zero. You're going to need those for your Super Polys, for your hero matchups. That's really good, especially since you have the space in Gladiator Beasts. Like, we're playing 3 Geyseris and 3 Heracleonos just because we have room. Just to flex on you guys with 3 ultis when we don't even really need that. To be honest, you probably never even go into 1. But you might go into 1, so... yeah, I shouldn't say never. You're going to go into 1 eventually, but at that point, it's like, I always consider, is the game already over? Is it really necessary? Because Heracleonos loses to 1 Raikou. It's kind of sad. Or 1 Caius or something like that. He negates spells and traps all day long, but yeah. So you probably need 1, and then at least 2 Geyseris, but we max out on both because you have the space. Don't really need to, don't need to explain any further. 2 Chimera Take Fortress Dragon. That's going to be for that side deck Cyber Dragons. Again, you can play 3. And then 2 Stardust Dragon for the Starlight Roads. You could play 3 just to fill up the spots, then play 3 Hero Absolute Zero. And voila, that's your 15. If you're playing Brain Control or something, you can play all the Synchros. I guess you can steal a tuner potentially, but I just don't think it's worth it. I mean, Brain Control doesn't really do much for us anyways. And if you're having it just to steal a tuner, That's too niche of a situation to justify it. And that goes for mind control as well, right? Alright guys, if you enjoyed the profile, leave a like, subscribe so you can keep up with the updates on this deck, and answer that daily question: what is your favorite either Beast Warrior, Wing Beast, or Beast archetype of all time? Anything within the Tri-Beast realm. And we'll see you in the next one. Peace out.